What is going on, everyone? Welcome in here to the Bettor Sports Betting Show on a Thursday afternoon. I am Dan Servodidio, your host today. Got a lot to get to on today's show. Appreciate everyone tuning in on Bettor Sports Network, Fantasy Alarm YouTubes. Hit us up in the chat here if you got any bets that you like tonight or this weekend in the NFL. We'll get to your comments as you throw them in here. But a lot to get to today. Coming up on a little bit, we got hockey bets with our guy Josh Wagner over at Fantasy Alarm. Does awesome stuff there with the betting and just overall hockey there for Fantasy Alarm. I'll throw out a couple college basketball bets for tonight, but we're going to start with NBA and going to bring in our guy Iggy Gilbert at IDP Iggy on Twitter, IDP _ Iggy on Twitter. If you haven't followed him already, go follow him right now because he is throwing out some winning NBA bets left and right. Last night, he hit on Miles Turner, his rebounds, his double-double, the plus money prop there. The under on Scotty Barnes's rebounds he hit on. So Iggy's coming in hot today. What's up, man? Thanks for joining.
Hey, man, so glad to be here. Yeah, we just hit our 100th bet, on the NBA Best Bets column. So really happy about that. Up 15 units, and we got a great game in another continent today. So I'm stoked about that as well.
Yeah, we do. If you haven't checked out Iggy's articles, his best bets at Fantasy Alarm, get the All Pro subscription at Fantasy Alarm because you can get those winners every single day that he's throwing out his picks there. You mentioned a game starting up in less than 10 minutes here. I know you got a pick for it. It's the Cavs and the Nets tipping off in Paris, starting up real quick here. So we got to get a pick in from you for this game. What do you like in this one?
Yeah, man, I wrote about it today. I usually have the bet of the night, but this is the bet of the day. We get blessed with a game today during the day. I love it, man. And it's Cameron Johnson over 2.5 threes. He's gone over this in 6 of his last 7 games. I think he has 33 3-point attempts this month in 4 games. He's playing over 32 minutes in his last 6 games except for 1. And the line has actually moved down. They moved it down to -120, over 2.5. Like I said, covered in his last 4 games in a row, last 6 of 7. He's become a big part of who the Brooklyn Nets are over there. If he was a little better defender, I would say he's a great 3-and-D defender. He's still working on that. It's only his 5th year or 4th year in the league, so he'll get better. But, I just think he's a shooter. You're going to have Max Strus over there. You're going to have Donovan Mitchell. They're going to be lighting it up from behind the arc. They have a different set. I was trying to look real quick. Donovan Mitchell's has got 3.5 on his at +100, and Max Strus is 2.5 at -145. So there's 7 threes right there. Cam Johnson's going to have to come back and try to get that firepower, as the best kind of shooter they have.
Yeah. All right. So this game is starting up 2:10 Eastern. Tip-off is expected here. So you got time to get that pick in. Cam Johnson over on his 3-pointers here. I just wanted to ask you before we get into some more bets. What are your thoughts on just like the NBA, rolling out a Paris game here? It seems interesting because of Victor Wembanyama from France. The expected number 1 pick next year, I think, is from France too. I forget his name right now, but projected number 1 pick. So the NBA really tapping into the global market.
Yeah, I heard. I was watching the Nuggets Jazz game last night. JJ Redick said he played in London and Mexico City. He said as a player, didn't really much different. If you get there in preparation time ahead of time. And I said that made sense to me. But the Olympics are there this summer, so it could be a showcase of the talent there as well. I thought it was weird that they didn't get like Rudy Gobert or Nicholas Batum, even though he got traded. He's with your 76ers right now. But I just kind of think that there were some French players over there that could have displayed better. I don't even think they hyped it up well enough for a Thursday. I felt like there could have been a better planning, but I'm always for NBA basketball. Give it to me whenever I can, and I'll be happy to watch it at any hour.
Yeah, it's a weird Thursday afternoon tip here. You think maybe they try to get the Spurs to play in France with Wemby, but are there any French players on the Nets or the Cavs? Off the top of my head, I can't think of any.
I think not. I'm not sure. I don't think so. No, I think it's like a Slavic. But and then Alexandre Sarr, that was the prospect that you were talking about.
That's it.
As well for the French guys. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like he's also like a center from France, expected to be possibly the number 1 pick coming up in this next year. So All right, so some basketball from Paris. Again, Cam Johnson is 3-pointers. The over on that is where Iggy likes for this game. Tipping off soon. Let's get into some more bets here. I know you got more picks for tonight. It's a smaller slate here. These Thursdays are usually smaller, but where are you going with one of your other bets tonight?
Man, there's two marquee games tonight, and they're great conference battles. We got Boston at Milwaukee. Unfortunately, Boston played last night. I think there could be some great angles right there, but they're kind of withholding the props. They've juiced up a lot of the Bucks props. But I went ahead and I looked at Isaiah Hartenstein for the New York Knicks, man. He's going to make Mitchell Robinson old news. He didn't play so well against the 76ers, but you take that game out, he's got 14 rebounds, 19 rebounds, and 20 rebounds this month games. Going against the Mavericks, who allow the second most rebounds per game, 55.6, I believe. Pretty awful. They allow the third most rebounds to centers, second most points to centers. I mean, when you go look at who the Mavericks' leading statistics are across the board, it's Luka Doncic's points, Luka Doncic's rebounds, Luka Doncic's assists. So they don't have unfortunately, Derek Lively's hurt. I think that was a great pickup for the Mavericks at the center position, but they're going to be rolling out Dwight Powell, and he's just not the center presence that Isaiah is, man. And his rebound line has been juiced up pretty heavily. It's at 10.5. He should cover that with ease, but it's at negative 150, so I recommended to put 2 units on it. You still get a little unit and some change back on return. This could be third quarter money. He hit 14 rebounds against the Portland Trailblazers and didn't play the fourth quarter. He is really becoming a great center, and we can still get advantage and take his over on the rebounds.
Yeah, and as you said, Derek Lively being out for the Mavs definitely helps the rebounds on Hartenstein's side. You've been I like how you're going with these rebound props, in recent columns on the best bets, but here too, because a lot of people just want to look at for the points or points and assists. But the rebounds are kind of one of those. If you find an angle like you're laying out here, it could be profitable too.
Man, yeah, I've been doing. I used to be a double-double. Like if it was 9.5, I'd look at the double-double line a lot. It's kind of one of my longest-running standing bets because it's an effort. It's an effort statistic, and you can see there, like in today's NBA, there's so many shots attempted per game. Somebody has to get those missed rebounds, and a lot of times it's your bigger guy, and they play with a lot of effort. I feel like, and they usually play 30+ minutes, which is a key kind of number for me when I'm evaluating prop bets in the NBA.
All right, and you got another bet here. The other big game tonight is Suns Lakers, the TNT, the late night TNT game, and you got an interesting little pick here for this one.
Yeah, man, I just couldn't lay off. Most of the time, I don't recommend taking the boost from the sports books. No offense to them, but we do have Kevin Durant and we do have LeBron James tonight playing in their 36th match. Dan, that's pretty special, including playoffs and regular season. We may only get about 3 or 4 of these, for their career left. The DraftKings has been kind enough to get us a boost over there, and it's 25 points apiece. LeBron's averaging 25.1. Kevin Durant's averaging 29.6, I believe. So all they really need is their average. I think it's a special marquee game. Late night for the East Coast, prime time for us over here on the West Coast. TNT battle, national media attention. And they've said it this year. I've heard them in their press conferences mention how they recognize it's special and they don't have many left and they really look forward to it. And let's be honest, we got a healthy KD, we got a healthy LeBron James, and let's just be thankful we have those things, lovers or haters, and trust them to just put up some points tonight. There's other superstars on those teams, but I couldn't stay away from it. It's plus 150, $25 max. So you go about that how you would like. But I just think it'll be fun to watch and cheer for tonight, and I think it's an obtainable boost.
Yeah, and I'm looking at your article here. So the original odds was like plus 120, and now it's boosted up to plus 150 for that. So, absolutely. Yeah, listen, a marquee national TV game. It's definitely going to be LeBron and KD going at each other. We've seen this multiple times now with LeBron against anybody else, but for sure LeBron, KD. These guys have they have a history going back where they want to prove to each other that they are, the better guy, but currently still rolling even at their older ages. So I like this one a lot.
I do too. I love it. I recommend placing it on there.
Yeah. All right. So get it on that one for tonight's game. We got this Cam Johnson pick. I'll be tracking it because I placed it before we went live here just to make sure I'm tracking it while this game is going on. Again, tipping off right now. If you could still get it in, but Cam Johnson threes, but you like Isaiah Hartenstein over on his rebounds, and then LeBron KD 25 plus points for both of them. Appreciate you coming on here, Iggy. Again, follow Iggy on Twitter at IDP Iggy. This is Iggy Gilbert. He is our Fantasy Alarms NBA bets guy. He's rolling out articles almost every day there. So check out his picks if you haven't already. He is up. You were up 15 units right now this
15
season?
units, and we got a goal of 40 units, Dan. So we're going to work till we get those 40 units. I don't care if it's a $5 unit or a $5,000 unit. You get 40, you can get yourself something nice.
Listen, plus 40 units is a very successful season, and you are well on your way there. So good stuff, man. And you're looking sharp today. I love that. I love the background. Love the dress up here. Iggy, thanks for joining here, man. And we'll have you on again soon because this has been great.
I love it, guys. I'll be on as much as I can. Take care.
All right, Iggy. Again, follow him on Twitter at IDP_Iggy. And get the All-Pro subscription at Fantasy Alarm so you can get those bets every day when he's not on this show. All right, let's turn the page here to NHL. We got covering a little bit of all the sports here today on this Thursday afternoon. And let's talk some hockey with our guy, Josh Wagner. He is one of our hockey guys. We got multiple hockey guys over at Fantasy Alarm, but I know Wags from when we used to work together at Sirius XM, where he's still killing it. But for our Fantasy Alarm hockey bets coverage, he is rolling out articles a lot of days over there. So if you haven't, again, gotten the All-Pro subscription, get that now to check out his picks. Josh, what's up, man? Thanks for coming on here.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Servo. And, I just got to say, I saw Iggy at the end of his hit. He was dressed for TV. You mentioned I'm a radio producer. I feel like I'm right on par right now, man.
You are, yeah. Listen, I went with kind of a casual look too. You could go either way. He was dressed to impress today, so we gotta love that.
Yeah, no, looking sharp, Iggy. I like the background too. I think I got to add a few more things. I got a lot of Steelers, but I think the season is, quickly coming to an end. So I got to find some other stuff to put behind me.
But bias aside, you're rolling Steelers plus 10 this weekend against the Bills?
I can't do it. I think it's one of those games where I probably don't bet it at all. Maybe take the under. The Steelers are like 1-11 all time without TJ Watt. I don't know what they are against the spread, but you go to Buffalo with Mason Rudolph, and believe me, I want to believe in him. But I think this is one I stay away from. I just hope it's a good game.
I was looking at that stat you said, TJ Watt, when he's out of the lineup for the Steelers. Yeah, I think 111 straight up. I think it's like sub 500 against the spread. But on the other side, I was noticing Josh Allen, when he's a double-digit favorite, the against the spread numbers lately over the last couple seasons have not been as good as you might think, not covering spreads. So, and full well Tomlin as an underdog, right? Yeah, that's just like a feisty little sneaky spot for him. So I don't know. We'll see.
He does love to be the underdog. If he's a favorite against Arizona, per se, that's a game you stay away. But yeah, when they're a dog playing a big game, Tomlin and the boys, they usually show up for it. I just don't know, Dan. I'm not sure.
Well, as a fan, you're just going to watch and root for a win. Either way, you don't care how it comes. So, listen, I always rooting for chaos, and I'm not expecting my Eagles to beat the Bucks on Monday night, honestly. So I'm rooting for all these, the wild card teams to just advance on. Let's get to hockey though here, because you are tied in. We got a big slate for tonight with the hockey games here. So just wanted to start out overall this year. Do you have any betting, kind of like trends that you've definitely locked in on, or just, teams that you're instantly fading or now targeting that you've kind of changed your opinion before we get to some specific games tonight?
Yeah, I would say is like an overarching theme usually with me betting the NHL is, first and foremost, I'm trying to find those goaltenders that are coming out of nowhere that are having really good stretches. We've talked a lot on the articles and through podcasts about Connor Ingram, for example, with the Arizona Coyotes, is just having a breakout year. Whereas most people see names and they'll fade them because they remember them not being very good. You got to look at the recent numbers. Every goalie has a hot streak at some point during the season. It's just figuring out when that will be. So that's one of them. Another one in addition to that is I like to follow a lot of the deeper analytics, expected goals per 60, Corsi percentages, stuff like that, because you're going to find the teams that aren't for real, that are frauds, basically. Teams like St. Louis, the Blues, the Washington Capitals, the New York Islanders, they were winning all these games early on in the year by 1 goal, and they were getting, above expected goaltending performances. But you knew it just wasn't sustainable. So you were looking at all these teams, and I mean, the Flyers could probably be one of those teams as well. They started out at the gates, like a bat out of hell, and you're seeing them now kind of come back to reality a bit when the scoring isn't up to snuff or a goaltender is carrying too much of the load. I like looking at those. I like looking at the teams that are generating the most opportunities, not necessarily getting puck lucky and stuff like that. So those would be a couple of things I think I look at, and always home road splits. Being the home team in hockey matters so much. I know it does in every sport, but being in your home barn, getting the advantage on the face-offs, the last change, before the TV timeouts, super crucial. So those are just a few of them.
Well, speaking of home teams tonight, one of the games I wanted to ask you about was Vegas tonight. The Vegas Golden Knights losing 3-0 to Colorado last night, but now hosting the Bruins, who are fresh off a loss to the Coyotes on Tuesday night. So you got these two teams, Bruins and Vegas tonight. Any thoughts on this game?
Yeah, so this isn't one that made my top agenda for the day. I think I'm still a little bit bitter about last night. Aiden Hill was supposed to make his return to the lineup for Vegas, and he got scratched, I think, like 15 minutes before puck drop, and he was all over my DFS lineups. I was already kicked back, watching TV at that point when I got the alert, so I had to make the switch, and you know what happened. The Vegas goaltender didn't do very well, whoever it was in there. I forget his name, but it wasn't Logan Thompson, so – yeah. I don't know if we're going to get Aiden Hill tonight or if we're going to get Logan Thompson. Both are still unconfirmed. Same thing on the Bruins side. Jerry Patera. Thank you. Yeah.
Producer Adam Bernard is behind the scenes throwing that one in there.
I appreciate it. That's what a good producer does on top of things. We know Servo, so thanks a lot. Yeah. This would be one that I'd probably lean toward the Bruins more because overall Vegas – they've kind of taken a stumble in the last few weeks. If you look down into their stats and their recent play, they've only won 3 of their last 10 games. And granted, they've been playing good teams like Vancouver and Seattle. Seattle's on a hot streak. We'll talk about them a little later, I'm sure. But Boston would probably be the team I give the edge to, especially considering Vegas is on a back-to-back.
Okay, well, yeah, let's get to Seattle here because I'm wondering if this is one of your bets because the Kraken – they've won 7 in a row now. Now taking on the Caps in Washington. You like Seattle tonight? Make it 8 in a row?
I do like Seattle tonight. And a little bit leading into it, we talked about Washington and, how good they've been defensively. Darcy Kemper not being one of them, but, Charlie Lindgren's been really good throughout the course of the season, a sub-2.6 goals against average. I don't know if they've confirmed the goalies for that matchup just yet. But either way, these two teams are heading in completely different directions. All right, it's going to be Darcy Kemper. So we like the Kraken even more with Joey Decord going and his 2.28 goals against average. But we talked about the Caps. They've been like 3rd from last in expected goals per game, dating back to basically Thanksgiving at this point. We've seen Ovechkin not be Ovechkin this season. I don't think that, the two are necessarily hand in hand. They might be playing a certain type of hockey under their rookie head coach. But if Ovechkin's only got 8 goals and we're halfway through the season and that roster is just not very good, I can't see myself putting money behind them. Whereas you look at the Seattle Kraken, who started the season terribly but have a good roster, they're on an 11-game point streak right now. They've won 11 straight games, 9 of them wins, 2 overtime losses. They're playing super competitive hockey. They've rode the momentum of the Winter Classic, which was just badass at T-Mobile Park.
Yeah.
They were throwing the fish everywhere. Super fun game. But yeah, love the Kraken. You're getting really fair value with them being on the road. The sportsbooks really never like when the West Coast teams come out east, but I don't think it much matters to me. I think everything stacks up for a Seattle win tonight.
Yeah, minus 125 on the money line at BetMGM to take the Kraken to win that one. So, all right, the board is yours. Where are you going with any game bets or props that you like for tonight?
So my favorite bet of the night is going to be the Maple Leafs. They're visiting Nassau County tonight against the New York Islanders. And I wrote this up in the article as one of the best bets. In the year of 2024, I can't believe I'm talking about Martin Jones still. We all remember Martin Jones from his day in San Jose, went to the Stanley Cup, lost to the Penguins. Thank you very much. I thought that he was probably done in this league. And then, Ilya Samsonov and Joseph Wall, they're not having the best seasons. They've been banged up. I don't even think Samsonov is even with the team at this point. Marty Jones has been the savior of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, the offense has always been good, but the defense has been really bad. Martin Jones steps in last month and a half now, 8-3 record, 1.97 goals against average, a .934 save percentage. He's won 4 straight games, and he's allowed just 3 goals in the last 106 shots. This guy is playing out of his mind right now. Not to mention that the Islanders have kind of lost their way this season. Now, they're winning a lot of very close games, like we talked about with the Capitals. They have 10 overtime losses. We're 40 games into the season. 25% of their games, they're going to overtime and they're losing. It's just bizarre stuff. So I'm staying away from the puck line just because I feel like they'll push it to overtime. But the Islanders allow 3.6 goals per game over the last 30 at home, which is really weird considering that Ilya Sorokin was such a good goaltender in past years. But I just have to fade them all together. And, there are not many days now, Servo, where you're getting the Maple Leafs at good a value as you are. You can get them minus 130, minus 125. This is a team when they play, they're like minus 200 going away right now. So they're getting a little love to the Islanders, but I don't see why. They're 10-11 straight up at home. I'm taking the Leafs.
Couple of road favorites here that you like, the Leafs and the Kraken so far. Minus 130 on the money line at BetMGM right now. But obviously, shop around to see the best odds you can get on that. All right, you mentioned, so you got your article up on Fantasy Alarm right now, the best bets article. So everyone go check out All Pro subscription at Fantasy Alarm to get all of his picks there. But all right, give us another bet that you like for tonight, game bet wise.
All right, so we talked about a couple money lines. So let's look at the game totals now, Servo. There's one game that most of the audience members with, no kind of agenda, just a general hockey fan, this is the game they're going to be watching tonight. It's going to be the Oilers in Detroit, 2 of the highest scoring teams in the NHL this season. The total is 7. That makes you a little bit nervous as a hockey bettor. 7 is really the highest you'll ever see a game total.
Yeah.
It doesn't really scare me in this situation, though. Last 30 days, offenses on both sides just going nuts. The Oilers on the road averaging just over 4 goals per game. The Red Wings at home just over 3.8 goals per game. With these trends all coming together, the Red Wings are now over in 12 of 19 games this season. The Oilers are over in 10 of 18 road games this season. Up to 7.5. Wow. Thanks for pointing that out, Adam. Wow. I don't think I could do that. If they get to 7, I'll take my push. I don't think I could take it that high, but
the BetMGM is 7 if you want to grab that right now.
Yeah. So it seems like the sports books are kind of trying to cover their asses because everybody wants this game to hit the over, and I really believe it will. Just the way these 2 offenses are playing, especially considering Edmonton only had 2 goals in Chicago a couple nights ago. I think they're going to be a little bit hungrier, and Detroit just doesn't play any defense either. Like Alex Lyon has been really good in goal for them on occasion, but when you get McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, Zach Hyman, all those guys together, I mean, they could score at any moment. And if you go on the power play for the Oilers, last season they set records with it. They were over 30% on the season. They're approaching that so far this year. So that is a total to look at. And then the other one I would look at is the under 6.5 for the Kings and the Panthers. Both of those teams, not so surprising for the Kings, but for the Panthers, Servo, The team they had last year went to the Stanley Cup. They were scoring over 3.5 goals per game last season. That's completely dropped off. Their offensive numbers are down. Sergei Bobrovsky has played a lot better. And then on the other side, Cam Talbot has enjoyed a big resurgence for the Kings this year. Both teams now trying to scroll to it here with the ATS standings on the season. Let's see here. So the Kings hit the under, the second most of any team in the league, 14 of 36 games, or no, that's backwards, 22 of 36 games. And then the Panthers in 24 of 39. So I think we'll have a defensive battle in that matchup.
All right. Your best bets article in Fantasy Alarm. I know you got you got a dog of the day and you got another bet over there. Not gonna reveal that here because I want people to go and check out your article and read what you got to say about those other picks. But any player props you like tonight? Maybe in the games you already talked about. Maybe a prop in this potentially high scoring Oilers Red Wings game.
So I didn't really, zero in on those games. I was really trying to attack with the shots on goal because I play a lot of underdog as well. And we had those articles running for a long time. That was fun. So I try to mainly focus on the shots on goal. And sometimes with the Oilers and the Red Wings, one guy just has a really big night. Like since Patrick Kane came to Detroit, he'll steal like the thunder of Dylan Larkin or something like that. So I stayed away from that. I went to a totally new game for my favorite shots on goal prop tonight, and it's Seth Jarvis. 2.5 goals or 2.5 shots on goal is the line. The Hurricanes tonight playing the Anaheim Ducks. The Ducks have just been an absolute dumpster fire this year. I love the young talent, but now Trevor Zegras is hurt. There's a lot of bad things going on. And the defense as a whole, young, inexperienced, some of them are washed up. They're allowing 32.73 shots on goal per game. That is the 5th most in the NHL. So Jarvis is going to have plenty of runway to get to 3 shots. And he's done that. 5 straight games, 5 up and down. He's combined 8, 12, 15. He's combined for 20 shots in the last 5 games. So Seth Jarvis, I very much like for Carolina. And then the other one would be Nikolai Ehlers, who has really stepped into a huge role in Winnipeg. Talk about the craziest team so far this year. We all thought they'd be rebuilding. They're, damn near close to the top of the stand. In fact, they are. They're in first in the Central right now, just ahead of Colorado, 1 point ahead. Didn't see it coming. Connor Hellebuck having one of his best years. But with Ehlers, Kyle Connor has been out for a while now, and he's kind of their Alex Ovechkin. He's the guy that gets the puck. He shoots a lot. There's not not usually a lot left but the crumbs for the Jets offense. But with Ehlers being one of the only talented forwards on the team right now, last 10 games now, 7 of the last 10, he's went over 3.5 shots on goal. He fell short twice with 3 in each game. And then the Chicago defense is allowing 32.49 shots per game this season. That's the 6th most. And Chicago, also a terrible team with their young star hurt. Connor Bedard got real banged up. So they might be in full tank mode already halfway through the year, Servo. So Nikolai Ehlers and Seth Jarvis, those would be your player props for today.
Dude, this is awesome stuff, man. I've been trying to take some mental notes here, and I'm gonna, as soon as we end the show here, I'm gonna be locking in some of these bets here. We got Poe Jen Stoner on YouTube here. My boy help me with his name. The Chuskin. Laddering shot on goal and anytime goal odds was tasty last night. I'm assuming that one cashed.
Oh, yeah, I think he actually scored 2 goals last night, if I'm not mistaken.
Could have got
he
2
scored
plus
2 on the power
there.
play. Valeri Nichushkin, sorry. All these V names get me very confused with these Russian players. But, yeah, I mean, ever since he's played the wing alongside McKinnon and Mikko Rantanen, that line has just been absolute dynamite. I mean, we're talking about, Colorado's making their bid to come back. They got speed bagged a little last year, Servo against Seattle. I'm thinking Colorado's back in the mix this year. Them, Carolina, just with all these other teams that are I love the story of Winnipeg, but I don't believe in them. And I love the story of the Red Wings, but I don't think they can play good enough defense. Colorado, top to bottom, they might be the best team in hockey right now.
All right, you heard it here from Wags. Awesome stuff, man. Again, go check out Josh Wagner's best bets article right now on Fantasy Alarm, and most days up at Fantasy Alarm, dishing out his betting picks every day there. On Twitter, if you haven't already followed him at jwags10 with 2 G's there. And yeah, he's been killing it all season long, and for a number of years now for Fantasy Alarm with the hockey stuff. So, Josh, awesome to see your bearded face again here, and we're gonna have you on again going forward here with with football ending. We got to get some more hockey talk. I got to get more learned on this sport, and I'm glad you are here to dish out some winners. So, man, thank you, and we'll have you on again soon, man.
Sounds good, man. Yeah, I keep telling all the guys at, Alarm, Jim and Howard, I'm like, we only have a couple more weeks left of football. Those hockey sticks, they're starting to creep out of the closet. So we're ready for hockey season, basketball season, the alt sports, as we call them, that don't drive the bus. Shout out to Matt Deutsch. Yeah, looking forward to it, Servo. Happy to do it anytime, man.
Yeah, the hockey doesn't always drive the bus, but on today's show, you are driving this bus. I know that much, man. All right, man. We'll see you later. But yeah, go check out Wags' stuff on Fantasy Alarm, and yeah, he's on Sirius XM doing his thing as well. So look for him everywhere. He's killing it. Thanks, man.
You got it, buddy. Have a good rest of your show.
Yeah, man. Thanks. All right, that's about it for us. But I do want to just throw out 2 college basketball bets here to wrap up the show, because I hit on a couple last night, throughout UCF plus the points, and they pulled out the outright win against Kansas. So I felt really good about that. Obviously, I should have thrown down money on the money line there, but did not think they'd get at the outright upset. I thought Kansas would sneak out with the win, but I had a good read on that one. So we had a good night last night. I think finished in the plus money with my picks yesterday. Now 2 days running, we're finished with some winning bets here. So I got 2 for tonight. It's a smaller slate of college basketball, but I got 2 quick ones here. First one is my own Maryland Terrapins. I don't usually try to go with some of these, these homer bets, and this is not a homer bet. This is a fade of Michigan for the most part, because they are now without their best player, Doug McDaniel. He is suspended. A weird suspension announced yesterday, actually, where he's going to be suspended for the next 8 road games, I think it is, but he's going to be playing in the home games. Don't have any details on what the issue is. It might be kind of like academic disciplinary, where they want him to stay home and stay, going to classes and stuff. That's what I've kind of read and seen. But either way, he is not playing here on the road at Maryland. Doug McDaniel is, the best player for Michigan. He is their lead ball handler on offense. He is their best clear, scorer and just offensive playmaker. This is tough for Michigan because they basically run like a 7-man rotation before this. So now you take out one guy, let alone their best player, and now they have some, inexperienced and unproven backcourt guys. We're probably going to see Jalen Llewellyn, who has barely played this year. They were covering from his injury last year. He'll probably move into the starting lineup, but just the lack of depth for Michigan is a worry here, because they don't have guys that can really, I think, replace what McDaniel was for their offense. And Maryland comes in, they have a top 30 defense in the country. So this is a Maryland team that, kind of goes through some up and downs offensively and very inconsistent on that end. But on defense, they've been pretty buttoned up. And I think they're going to really limit what Michigan can do, especially because it's on the road for the Wolverines. But also looking at Michigan, their past 12 games, this is with McDaniel even in the lineup, 2-10 against the spread and 3-9 straight up. So this is a team that's been struggling coming into this game. And I think this is a get right spot for Maryland, coming off 2 losses in their back-to-back in their last 2 games. But now, coming back home after losing a close one at Minnesota over the weekend, I think this is a nice, kind of get right spot for Maryland at home with that home crowd to really, get back into the win column and get a comfortable win here. 5.5 is the spread, but I'm still laying the points here because Maryland, going back last year, this was a team that had drastic home road splits, 10-0 straight up, 9-1 against the spread at home in Big Ten play last year with Kevin Willard's team. So I think that continues this season. They lost at home and failed to cover against Purdue last week, but I think this is now a spot where they can get back into their kind of flow of winning, comfortably at home using that home crowd. So give me Maryland tonight to cover and win against Michigan. And then the other one here, Santa Clara at home dogs against Gonzaga. Listen, Gonzaga is not the same juggernaut team that we've seen in recent years, in the past 10 years. This is a team that's clearly a step, slightly below from the level, top 5 level that we've seen them in recent years here. And I have honestly been waiting to fade Gonzaga on the road in conference play because, again, they just have taken a step back without Drew Timme on this team. Like when it's crunch time, you kind of see different guys trying to step up, but none really taking that consistent role to really be the guy. Ryan Nembhard has shown flashes. Nolan Hickman's taken a step up, Graham Ike, Anton Watson, but it's really, kind of inconsistent for this Gonzaga team. And I think on the road could be a little bit of a trap spot here. Last year, Gonzaga on the road, they were just 2-7 against the spread, and they failed to cover on the road as favorites against Santa Clara. So this is a Santa Clara team that, including last year, covering against Gonzaga. They are, over the past 6 meetings versus the Zags, they've covered in 4 of those 6 as underdogs. So this is a team that is used to playing Gonzaga tough, especially at home. I think that'll help them in this. Herb Sendak, the head coach, will have his team ready to just possibly pull this upset. But Santa Clara is a team they've proven to be feisty in recent years, but especially this year. They have the size, 2 7-footers to match up with Graham Ike in the post to kind of limit that and limit the interior scoring, which is what Gonzaga loves to do. And on the offensive side, Adama Ball, Arizona transfer, he's really taken on a bigger role, and he looks like he's thriving in his new spot here in Santa Clara. Just taking on, especially since conference play has started for Santa Clara, he's become like one of those dudes that is clearly benefiting from transferring down to a mid-major team from a power conference team where he kind of got left on the bench a lot. But he's a guy that's, a wing playmaker, scorer that's, starting to get some NBA draft buzz too. Similar to, Santa Clara keeps pumping these guys out. We had Jalen Williams from Santa Clara, Brandon Podziemski. It looks like Adama Ball might be, one of those next guys that could get drafted into the NBA after, really being a dude for Santa Clara. So yeah, give me the dogs here. For Santa Clara at home, plus 8.5 is the current spread on BetMGM. But I do think they can keep this one a little bit closer than what the spread indicates. So those are some college picks. Again, if you missed any of it today, we had Iggy Gilbert dishing out his NBA bets. I want to pull up this game right now. The Nets and Cavs are currently tipping off from Paris. Cam Johnson over 3s was the pick from Iggy for this game. Let's see. He's 0-1, 0 for 1 from 3 so far, but it's early. This is the second quarter just started, so we got the whole game to try to cash this one. But NHL bets from our guy Josh Wagner as well. So if you missed any of it, rewind it and watch those back. Coming up after us today, 5 p.m. Eastern is the NBA DFS live show with Mpemba and Grande. 7 p.m. Eastern, we got high stakes fantasy football with Eric Balkman. Tomorrow's show, definitely tune in because we got NFL wildcard bets, props, predictions, and all that with our guy Howard Bender. So stay tuned and come back for that one. And good luck with all your own bets tonight. Appreciate everyone tuning in here on a Thursday, and we'll catch you guys later.
Bettor Sports Betting on the Bettor Sports